In this video, we are going to talk about offline flipping, which is the fourth method that we're discussing on simple strategies to earn $1,000 online. Now, what is offline flipping? So basically, the process of this is you build simple websites for local business keyword phrases and get them to rank in the search engine for those local phrases. And I'll give you some examples as we move forward. And keep in mind, this strategy, just like the other three, is something you could scale into an entire business. So don't just stop at the $1,000 if you don't want to. If you want to keep going, this is a great method you can use to make a lot of money online. After the site ranks in the search engine, you sell them or flip the site to offline business owners for $500 to $1,500 or more for each website. That's a lot of money. And basically, again, like I said above, you're building simple blogs based around keywords that local business owners want to rank for. Things like Chicago dentist and keywords like that. Keywords that get them in the first page of Google so that they can get a steady flow of new customers. So they're more than happy to pay for this because if they were to hire an SEO firm, it might cost them five, 6,000. Some local SEO firms are charging $10,000 even. I've run into them. And so for you to approach them with, hey, I've got a site ranked and it doesn't take as much effort to rank, a lower competitive local keyword. So you're putting in a little less effort. You maybe don't have to invest as much money to do the link building part. Then what happens is basically the owners are willing to spend $1,500 $2,000 or so for this website that maybe cost you $100 to rank it. So there's a lot of money to be made here, a lot of opportunity. And if you don't want to spend any money, really, you could just do it on your own as well. You just need hosting, you need a domain name, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But again, it's simpler to do than regular website flipping that many of you have probably heard about because there's less competition. There's less competition going out there. There's a lot of competition for weight loss type websites, but there's not a lot of competition for things like Birmingham, Alabama, tanning salon. There's not a lot of people building websites and selling them to businesses in that niche market. There could be somebody selling tanning salon websites elsewhere in the country, but they're going for a totally different niche market. They could be even reaching somebody in Australia or England or somewhere else. So the key thing is there's not a lot of competition. It is easier to rank for these local keywords as well because, again, just like the phrase tanning salon, that gets a lot of traffic, but you narrow that down to things like Denver tanning salon or Denver, Colorado tanning salon. Even that's even more specific, than that. So this is one method. It can be an entire business if you focus on it. Keep that in mind. It could be a lucrative business. In fact, possibly a six-figure business if you scaled it correctly. So what keywords would you try to go for? The keywords you try to rank for are specific to the city and state you are targeting. So things like Branson, Missouri florist. That would be a keyword people might type in if they're looking for a flower shop. Chicago, Illinois dentist. Birmingham, Alabama Italian restaurant. It might seem like a long keyword phrase, but that's what a lot of people look for. They want to know Birmingham Italian restaurant, Birmingham, Alabama Italian restaurant. And the reason you try to include both keywords in there is because some people search for it with the city, state name. Other people just search for the city name. And so it's important to have both in there so you can rank for both keywords. Now here's another example I threw in just to show you how huge this opportunity is. Those first three were United States, cities, and this next one, Edmonton, Alberta hair salon. That's Edmonton, the city in the province of Alberta in Canada. So that is an entirely different market you could tap into, build a website for the Edmonton, Alberta hair salon, and sell it to them, and have them pay you. Here's another example. Brisbane, Queensland wedding planner. Queensland, is like the state or province of, in Australia. It's one of the state or provinces or territories. And Brisbane is a major city in Australia. So Brisbane, Queensland wedding planner. And I went to Google and typed in Brisbane, Queensland wedding planner. And lo and behold, I found several Brisbane wedding planners that I could build a website for and then turn around and market to them. And if you think of it, this strategy is simpler than going out there and approaching business owners and saying, "Hey, I would like to do SEO work for you," because it's harder to get money out of them when there's no results. But if you can go to them with a result and say, hey, you buy this website, it's already ranked on the first page of Google for your keyword phrase. And if you're not interested, I'll go contact your competition. So what'll happen there is they're going to see that, hey, for one, you know how to rank a site in Google, so they may hire you for the long term if you feel comfortable with that. And they may want to have you do more backlinks just to ensure it stays there. They may want to have you build other websites for them. You might get a big client out of it. You might just get a one-time deal, but the point is you didn't spend tons of time doing it, and the market is wide open. In fact, it's a worldwide market that you could literally be hitting with the strategy. So, within these cities and state names, you'd want to look for things like, chiropractors, dentists, lawyers, plumbers, hair salon, tanning salons, jewelers, wedding planners, wedding photographers, auto repair shops, realtors. That's just a long list there, and we'll go back there and discuss a few of these. But, like chiropractor, again, if you were using one of the examples and we were going for Canada, you would say Edmonton, Alberta chiropractor. That would be your keyword, or Edmonton chiropractor. Um, Edmonton, Alberta dentist, Brisbane, Queensland dentist. We're talking about Australia here. Branson, Missouri lawyer, Branson, Missouri attorney, Branson, Missouri plumber. So you get the idea as you're putting the city and state or city and province before the actual keyword before or after it, or chiropractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, those kind of keywords. But again, these are niche markets, and you're not limited just to these. This is a good list to start with, and you can find you could basically get down to a pattern where you get a site to rank. Like, let's say you just decide, I'm just going to hit chiropractors. So you start with one city, particular city in a state, and you rank that. And it doesn't even have to be a big city. It could be a smaller city of maybe 100,000 people or 50,000 people. So it does not have to be a major city with 1 million people or 500,000 people or 300,000 people. It could be a city of 35,000 people in it, or 25,000 people, and you could go out there. There's a lot of cities of that size, and so you could just say, I'm going to hit every chiropractor in this entire state or province, and then I'm going to move on to another state or province, and I'm going to just build these sites, get them to rank, sell them off to them, and then move on to the next territory. And so you can run this strategy from your own home. You do not need to live locally to do this, because you can do all the sales online. We'll talk about how to do it online so both parties are protected. Everything will take place online. The transfer of the website's done online. You don't even need to be there. If you want to draw up a contract, that can be done through internet fax. There's all sorts of things. You do not need to meet with the people. So don't stress about, well, I don't want to, this is great and all, but I don't want to approach people in Canada, because I live in the US. So there's lots of, barriers that run into with other local type business opportunities, but this one, there is no barriers. It is a worldwide market. Now, other niche ideas, I gave you guys a list, but if you really wanted some ideas, I went to yellowpages.com. So if you just go to yellowpages.com, it'll look something like this, and right below the YP logo, you'll see all categories, like for Chicago, Illinois, and you can click on that, and it would take you to a huge amount of websites in Chicago. But you can see here things like bars, bowling, Mexican restaurants, Asian restaurants, pizza. So you could go out to your particular city and type in pizza parlor and get them to rank in the search engines and contact them. Hey, I've got a site that ranks in the search engine for Branson, Missouri pizza parlor and things like that. And the thing is business owners are more in tune to the fact that people are using Google and Yahoo and all the search engines to find things that they want to find. So people are really in tune to that nowadays, and so they're more apt when you approach them to buy it, especially if you approach them in the way we'll discuss here in a little bit. Now, once you settle on some keywords from Yellow Pages, you could also get some additional ideas. Like, for example, I typed in Chicago Bakery into the Google AdWords keyword tool. You can just go to Google and type in Google AdWords keyword tool. Type in the keyword, like Chicago Bakery, Tulsa attorney, Tulsa accountant, let's say, Branson, Missouri, CPA, tax person, whatever it is, and go in there and run a search, and you'll see all the amount of keywords that they're getting for that particular keyword phrase. So basically, again, the strategy here, once you've settled on the niche that you want to target, once you've identified the main keywords that people want in that market, you identified the niche through Yellow Pages, you came across a market that you want to go after. So let's say you want to go after Chicago Mexican restaurants. So you would buy a keyword rich domain name. That would look something like Best Chicago Chiropractor. You don't have to have best in front, that's just an example, but Honest Dallas Plumber. You might think that looks cheesy, but at least it gets, the city and the keyword in there, which is so important to ranking. You might want to take it a step further and try DallasTexasPlumber.com. And again, if like the .com's not available, you could try the .net extension. Here's another one, TopSacramentoTanningsalon.com. That way it gets the keyword in the domain Sacramento Tanning Salon. And you're probably wondering why you would do this. For multiple reasons. For one, it's easy for people to remember because it's got the keywords for what they want to look for. But most importantly, though, it is search engine friendly. Search engines have a big thing for having the keywords in the domain name. It plays a big role in them, and so search engines like that. So that's why it's important. So if you can't find a .com, try a .net. Those also work. I wouldn't go with .org just because there's different restrictions there. I'd stay away from .infos just because they don't sell very well. You can get .infos to rank, but business owners don't quite see the value. So .com or .net would probably be the best ones to stick with. To register your domain, I highly recommend GoDaddy or Namecheap. Some people might be tempted to buy it through their web hosting company, and that could end up being a nightmare, especially if you're transferring these websites to other business owners. And if you're not using a reseller hosting, like HostGator has reseller hosting, that would be perfect for something like this if you scaled it up. But if you're not willing to spend that and you just want to add these sites to your hosting, it's best to register that domain elsewhere because transferring that could become a nightmare because most hosting companies aren't big on domains, and transferring it is just a lot easier with GoDaddy or Namecheap because they're basically their sole business model is selling domain names, especially Namecheap nowadays. Once you set the domain name, once you buy the domain name, you need to set up the website on WordPress. We're not asking you to set up a bunch of sites on HTML, using FTP and all this kind of stuff that gets confusing. You want to set up a website on WordPress. And of course, at this phase, you would need web hosting of some sort to set up the website, but that's pretty much a given with any business. But you can go to Bluehost, you could go to HostGator, and IX Web Hosting is another one. There's a whole variety of hosting companies online that you could look at. The important thing is that they have what's called cPanel. So look for a web hosting company that has cPanel so that you can actually install WordPress from the back end, and ask them if they have automatic WordPress install. Bluehost and HostGator have that in their cPanels for you. You can set up a free WordPress theme or use the new default 2010 theme by WordPress. That's a cool little theme, and I mentioned that one because you can actually make that look like an actual business site. With the home, about us, the contact. It'll take some playing around with, but all you have to do is add in the pages: home page, about page, contact us page, and you can actually create a nice looking business website. You can include, a custom little logo that you make in like Microsoft Office or something, or PowerPoint. You could create a short little logo and just insert it there using the banner that they offer at the top. So the 2010 theme is kind of a slick looking theme, and you don't even have to have a picture in there. You could actually take out the header graphic, and it has a lot of customization with colors and things like that as well. So the simple thing with WordPress, and the important thing is that it'll be easy for your client to manage after you sell it to them, and it'll also be easier for you to work with. And that way you aren't dealing with a lot of phone calls from your client after they buy it. It's great for search engine rankings as well. Google loves blogs and WordPress sites. Another thing you can use, it's got a free plugin you could use called the All-in-One SEO plugin, and this will help you rank higher in the search engines because that's ultimately the goal. Is if you rank on the first page of Google, then you're going to get some traffic. Create 2 or 3 articles around the niche market you are targeting. That's the next phase of the process. So after you've bought the domain, after you've set up the WordPress, and you played around with the site to set it up, you added the plugin. It's now time to create some articles, and I recommend 2 or 3 articles. Search engines love content related to that market. So if you're writing about a Chicago bakery, you could write articles about being a Chicago bakery, but write a few articles about what kind of things people would find at a bakery. And instead of saying just bakery, you could say what kind of things you'd find at a Chicago bakery, and things like that, or find at a Tulsa bakery, or what kind of services does a Tulsa chiropractor help you with, to help your back feel better, and help you with car injuries and things like that. At least you need one keyword rich title, at least, or keyword rich article to begin with. So you at least need one piece of content. So if you don't want to do 2 or 3, at least have one written up, because you will need that. Next, you need to get backlinks going to your website to help it rank in the search engines. That is very important. In fact, that's probably the most important part, besides trying to have a good keyword-rich domain and having some solid content. Backlinks play a big role in search engines. It's estimated that backlinks take up about 70% of what you do. 70% of SEO is hinges on backlinks. So backlinks are super important. One thing I would encourage you to do is outsource this task or do it yourself. The main thing would be to outsource it, though, because you want to go out there and get a massive amount of links rather quickly. And so you want to put forth a little investment of money so you can get a higher return when you sell it, and get that return a lot quicker. But you can do things like build links in forums through signatures. You could do, write articles, related articles around bakeries, and submit them with your keywords in the resource box. You could do social bookmarking. Type in social bookmarking into Google. You'll find lots of websites. You could go to Google blog search and look for blogs related to the city and state you're targeting, and then go on there and actually leave relevant comments on different blog posts. And what's great about that is blog comment links a lot of times get followed by the search engines, and especially if they're posted on relevant sites, it's going to really do a number to boost you up in the search engines. Press releases, you could write a press release announcing the release of this new website, and you can go to prweb.com or free-press-release.com, and you can look at those websites to see how they structured their press releases. Fiverr.com, and you just go to fiverr.com, fiverr.com, and in the search feature type in backlinks or backlinking, and you'll find all kinds of people that are willing to build backlinks for you for $5. Sometimes it might be 10 backlinks for $5. Some might be 50 backlinks for $5. Some might be 5.edu backlinks, which are important for search engine rankings, for $5. So you could maybe budget $25 on there and have 5 different projects done, and get some backlinks for you. The Warrior for Hire section, just look for backlink services that people are offering. Just go to warriorforum.com and then look for the Warrior for Hire section under Warrior Products and Services. Digital Point Forum, again, also has people that are willing to do backlinks. You could post a job on odesk.com or elance.com or freelance.com, and you can find lots of low-cost, inexpensive backlink work on these websites. You can maybe post on Odesk that you have a budget of $50, but out of that $50, you would like to get 250 backlinks even, or 100 backlinks. But you want to try to build, 50 to 100 backlinks. Of course, this isn't scientific. This is just giving you a ballpark to start with, and continue link building until the website ranks in the search engines. And keep in mind that ranking may take a few weeks to show up. It may not show up right away. It may take a month to show up. It may take a couple days. You actually never know, what's going to happen there. So it might take a while. It might take a short time. It's always going to vary. So after you've got your site to rank, you got the site set up on WordPress, you got the keyword rich domain, you set up the site with WordPress, you got the plugins going. After you got the plugins going, you added your content that's keyword rich. Then you started, you outsourced some work to get backlinks in, and basically you kept doing, you just stayed back and watched your site rank. And once your site ranks in the search engines, it's time to sell it. It's time to sell that website. So you want to run a Google search for businesses in the market that you're going after, and use the online yellow pages to find businesses to contact. So you want to find relevant businesses. So if you rank for chiropractor in a particular city and state, you would go to yellowpages.com and look up Tulsa, Oklahoma flower shops, if that flower shops was another one you're going for. So Tulsa, Oklahoma florist, and you would call every single florist in Tulsa, or at least get their address, and you could send them a letter. You could have a template letter that you've written out that says, my name is so and so, and I spent some time getting this website ranked in the search engines. I think you'll appreciate it. It ranks for this keyword phrase. Maybe you have a picture of that ranking in the search engines, and to do that, you could use a tool called Jing, Jing, to get a picture of the actual site ranking. You could make phone calls to them if you feel comfortable. You could even hire somebody to make phone calls and pay them a percentage of the final selling price. You could even send them an email with their details on their site. Like if you can find them in Google, sometimes they may already have a website and you can contact them. And the great thing about it is if you find them in Google and maybe they're on page 3 or 4 or 5 for that keyword phrase, and you send them an email and say, I can get you on the first page in 10 minutes, they're going to listen to you. They're either going to call you back, they're going to email you back, they might send you a letter back. They're going to want to know how you can help them rank quickly. And how you can help them rank in 10 minutes is if they bought the website from you, they would have the website that ranks on the first page. Again, use Jing, Jing, there it is spelled out, and this will actually have a picture of your ranking that you could send in the emails and attachment, send them send it as a letter or send it as a fax if they request a fax. Mention you're sending the letter to their competitors as well, so that's important. So that way, it's not really just it's not really meant to be a scare tactic, but it kind of is because it will actually, if the business owner is serious about it, they're going to go, well, I don't want my competition ranking ahead of me now, so I better grab this site up. So it's going to be a good opportunity to sell the website and kind of increase that urgency. So pricing and moving the website, you can charge $500 to $1,500 plus for it. Really, the sky's the limit. In order to facilitate a smooth transfer, you could have them pay you directly with PayPal, but sometimes business owners may not be willing to do this, especially since you're going to be dealing with people all over the place. And if you want to really scale this and not be confined just to your local market, you could use escrow.com for a smooth transfer. Yes, you pay them some fees, but it ends up being worth it in the end, basically because you're going to get paid and they know they're going to get paid. Because nothing would be worse than if they bought the website from you, you transferred all the files, but they decided they didn't want to pay you till you transferred the site over. Well, once the site's transferred over, it's out of your control, and they could technically walk away without paying you. So that's where escrow.com comes in, is it basically goes through a verification check to make sure everything was done correctly, and it will hold the money. So you pay escrow, or they pay escrow.com, you transfer the site, and then escrow.com releases the funds after they verify with you that everything was done correctly. So it's kind of a smooth process and protects your money. Now, to transfer the website to the buyer, you'll want to contact GoDaddy or Namecheap, and they will assist you with transferring. You can call them up; most of them have 24-hour support, and they will actually help you with the step-by-step process of transferring. And I say to contact them just because they're the experts at it. They know how to do transfers smoother and easier, and quite honestly, that is the best way, the most efficient way to do a transfer is contact them or go online to their help section, and they'll be able to step you through it. Once you do it one time, it won't be an issue for you moving forward. To move the WordPress site, you'll want to Google transfer WordPress site and follow the instructions. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube and things like that that will help you. Basically wanted to keep this video shorter so you can digest all this content. So instead of showing you how to transfer domains and showing you how to do this, just wanted to point out that there are resources already out there that will help you. Not to mention that GoDaddy or Namecheap will assist you with the transfer of the site. Now, making $1,000 with this method, the key thing is if you just take action and start building a few websites, that you want to consider flipping, you know, just keep in mind that one of those websites could generate you over $1,000. So I'm hoping that $1,000 isn't just your goal, and if it is, if it meets the needs you need at the moment, that's perfect. But if you want to scale this, you could easily scale this to a full-time business. In fact, of all the methods, this one has the potential to be probably, I would say, the most profitable one. Let the business owners make an offer. Sometimes that's actually a strategy to really make more money is consider have them consider making an offer. Basically say, what would your offer be? Or say, I'm taking offers from other competitors, and actually do that. If you're actually saying that, make sure you are actively getting bids from other people in that market. You do want to be completely ethical and honest about it. But, they may end up offering you $2,500 for the website. They may offer you $4,000. You never know. And so sometimes it might be a better approach where you just tell them to make you an offer on the site and you'll consider it. And so they're going to be nervous that it's not going to be enough. They're going to want this website. They don't want their competition to get it. So they'll give you a fair, price on it sometimes. And if they don't, you can charge them $500. You could charge them $1,500, $1,000. Decide what you want to charge, and you can go from there. If you just sell two websites at $500, that'll make you $1,000. So continue repeating this strategy for more profits in your business, and you could again scale on offline flipping. So flipping a websites to brick and mortar businesses, you could scale this into a full-time six-figure business if you really wanted to.